it was very tense at that moment. And maybe you can talk about the collaboration between the boy's movement and the sound at that moment. That would be a really good way to not just be really narrow with your responses. So the chief examiner is talking about a few things, making sure that you are responding to the statement. That's the first thing. So being really responsive to the statement. And then secondly, just not being narrow-minded, breaking down your theatrical elements into your different paragraphs, or within one paragraph talking about more than one element. Okay, so you couldn't talk about the whole essay and just talk about costume. It's too narrow. I keep repeating being personal with your responses. Just rereading here. Making sure you've got clear, impactful moments. Confident candidates analysed how set, lights, costumes, sound, props and acting enhanced particular moments and then drew this back to the statement. So that's exactly what I said. Having your key moments and talking about the collaboration of theatre makers within that one moment and ensuring that you're analysing and evaluating the response at that moment. Stronger responses also explore the question in depth, with what the idea of out of touch means or could mean. Sort of good idea. So a director that's out of touch with its audience would not really consider about applying the key themes, losing the narrative, the story, the plot, for example. So there's a good example. It's saying that some students who got lower marks made like sweeping statements without backing it up. So they would make like a really big generalized statement without kind of backing up at all. And then weaker students also took on a narrational approach, a narrative approach, which means, again, they're just describing what happened. Description without analysis, evaluation, without responding to the key statement will not allow you to get high marks at all. Okay? So I've just waffled on a little bit about what the chief examiner said about 2019 and the things that you must adhere to. And let me just repeat what they are. So we've got our key points of our 2019 examiner content. The first thing we need to think about is responding to the statement. So just highlight that, underline that. Am I responding to the statement? The second thing is ensuring that I'm discussing a collaboration of theatre makers, which means that I'm talking about more than one element. Okay, I'm being personalised in my response, so it's all about my opinion. I've got a balanced consideration between analysis and evaluation, and the statement is at the forefront of my whole essay. Okay, so just make sure those key points are added. So we've got those key points added on our sheet, and then on top of that, we've gone back and we've gone over our key examples. So let's talk about structure. Let's talk about the structure of how we would structure this essay. The beginning's nice and simple. You just put the date, the title, the venue. So on, what's it today? Like the 13th of April, 2020, I went to see the National Theatres and Spectacles at the Theatre Royal Plymouth. Bam. So just nice little introduction there, really simple and succinct. The next thing I'm just going to do is I'm just going to outline, not the plot or anything like that. I might just talk a little bit about the director's approach. So I might say, Daltrey's adaptation with collaboration by the other theatre makers, so using the director's designers' names, blended a mix of the 1912 production or 1912 genre with the 1948 period to outline to its audience this. So just it's just like a little summary really. It can't be much, just needs to be really brief. And then you need to tell me your response to the statement. Do you agree or disagree? I highly disagree or I highly agree with this statement, and I disagree because of this. And using the play watch. So I disagree because I feel that Daltrey was completely in touch with his modern audience, showing how theatre of the 21st century is not out of touch at all. And the rest of my essay is going to show you how I disagree with this statement. So there's my introduction. That is basically my intro, done. And in the exam, that would take 5 minutes. So on 13th of April 2020, I went to see in spectacles at the National Theatre at Plymouth Theatre Royal. Daltrey with theatrical collaborators, this name, this name, this name, this name. What did they do? They created a play which mixed like epochs, periods of pieces, because what was the purpose of that? And we talked about the purpose of the play. And therefore I highly disagree with the statement. And I disagree with it because the play watched outlines how Daltrey was completely in touch with his modern audience. So there's my introduction done. Okay? So all I want you to do after you've watched my 15-minute, I said I'd be quick, my 15-minute clip is just to go back over those key points. Do I know what I need to be successful in this exam? And the answer should be yes. I need to ensure that I've got a balanced consideration between analysis and evaluation. I need to ensure that I am discussing a wide range of theatrical collaborators, so more than one theatrical element. I'm being personalised, and I'm making sure that the statement is at the forefront of my whole essay. Do I understand the structure of my 5-minute introduction, where what I'm doing is I'm outlining the date, the title, the play, a little bit about what the playwright and the collaborators did, and then am I agreeing or disagreeing? That's the first, that little tiny paragraph, and I've gone over that a couple of times a few moments ago. Okay, and then finally, are my notes, are my key examples succinct enough? Have I got a range of examples, more than just 2? Because in the exam, you're going to write roughly, if you're talking about key examples with a range of different elements within them, maybe 4 would be about suffice. If I'm talking about different separate examples for separate elements, again, 4 to 6 would probably be enough for this example. Okay, but what I'll do is I'll put a few things on class charts, I'll attach this wonderful YouTube clip, and I'll outline the structure so you've got them ready to use for this week. Okay, so what I want you to do this week is I want you to watch this video, outline the structure of the opening, outline what it is I need to be successful in this section A question, write down the question, and then write down the moderator responses. Okay, and then I want you to attempt your introduction and ping it over so we can have a little EBI WWW introduction. So it's goodbye from me, goodbye from Dinosaur. Don't worry, I've got lots and lots more wonderful toys to use, and have a great day. Ciao.